Hey, what's up? Today I've got the ultimate list of upcoming Oculus Quest and Quest 2 games. All of these games are coming to both platforms as far as I know, and there are a few games missing on the list. I just didn't include them because I don't have any updates on them, and I'm not really sure where they stand. So let's jump into the list right now. First up on our list is I Expect You to Die 2, the follow-up to the incredibly fun and incredibly difficult game I Expect You to Die. There's a reason this game is called I Expect You to Die, because you will die, and you'll do it many times as you solve puzzles and try to escape these situations that you're placed in as an agent. This game places you in situations where you have to, like the name, not die, although you are expected to die, like the name as well, and trust me, you will. It's a wacky escape room type of puzzle game that is just a massive amount of fun, and I'm really excited for the second one, as the first one was just absolutely awesome. Next up on our list is Grapple Tournament. Now, I'm not sure if there's an official announcement as this coming to the Quest yet, but there was an image posted the other day on Twitter showcasing the game running on the Quest platform. And to my knowledge, they are working their hardest to bring this game to the Quest. Grapple Tournament is a multiplayer grappling style combat game that has you wielding a grappling hook among other dual-wield weapons as you face off against opponents online. The combat looks very fast-paced and fun, and I've heard really good things from other creators, even though I have yet to try it out yet. From what I know, these levels are very vertical, so you'll be moving up, down, all around as you grapple your way to victory. It looks pretty cool, I have to say, if not a little bit challenging and some skill involved, but I am excited to try it. I do have the game for PC VR, I just have yet to actually take the time to give it a shot, which I do plan on doing soon, although I do tend to wait and play games on Quest Native when they come out, because then I can get the first full experience of what I'm mostly going to play 90% of the time. Next up is another game I'm really looking forward to, and it's by Resolution Games, and that is Demeo. Now they're exploring the tabletop game genre, which looks absolutely incredible. As someone that's never really played around that much with tabletop gaming and tabletop RPGs, it's something I've always wanted to try, but never really had the people or the ability to give it a shot. So now that it's going to be online in Demeo with some awesome VR 3D elements, I think it's going to be an absolute blast to play, and I'm looking forward to jumping in and trying this when it launches at some point this year. This next game has been in development for a while, and that is Song in the Smoke. This takes place in a mysterious prehistoric world where there's strange beasts and you gotta craft, forage, hunt, and fight to survive. It'll have you adventuring and trying to survive against crazy otherworldly creatures, and honestly, some of the mechanics in this game look really cool. Even just lighting a fire looks pretty awesome, and that friggin' lion looks terrifying. So I'm very curious to see how this game plays out. We really don't know a whole lot about the story, except for the fact that you're trying to survive after being awoken by a three-headed crow at the edge of the woods. You'll travel through 8 different stages, including forests, valleys, and a frozen terrain. This has got me very intrigued for what could be an amazing survival adventure game on the Quest platform, and the first possible one, depending on when it releases. Next on the list is a game that's changed names. It used to be called Cosmophobia, and now it is called Cosmodread. This is by the maker of Dread Halls, the simple yet terrifying game on the Quest platform, and this game looks to me more in-depth and just as terrifying. Cosmodread places you on a spaceship, and it uses what looks like a time loop mechanic to have you working in a roguelike adventure story. You'll have to work your way through the ever-changing, procedurally generated spaceship to complete tasks and survive against enemies, which look pretty creepy if you keep your eyes open in this video, and I've got to be honest, navigating this spaceship in the dark looks pretty freaking terrifying. But if you go and watch the trailer for this game, it sounds like a really fun story, and it's a well-made trailer, which makes me even more excited, because even though Dread Halls was great, the story was pretty light. This game looks like it has a pretty interesting story, along with scaring the crap out of you. Next up, we've got Star Wars Pinball VR, which is actually arriving next month on April 29th. If you're a fan of pinball, this game is coming to both the Quest 1 and the Quest 2, among other VR platforms, and it's going to be totally Star Wars based including 8 amazing tables to be able to play from the original trilogy to even The Mandalorian. You'll also get a customizable fan cave that serves as your main game hub. The description says, who doesn't want to build their very own nook filled with Star Wars memorabilia, collectibles, and art? In Star Wars Pinball, you can do just that, as all of the action occurs in a fully customizable fan cave, which houses your virtual pinball table, as well as many Star Wars helmets, blasters, lightsabers, and other items earned through successful play. I have to say, that's pretty freaking awesome. And I want to be able to customize my Star Wars room, which is going to drive me to go back and play more and more. They're even bringing table minigames to the next level, which includes something like a speeder bike chase or even dueling with Darth Vader in the game. It looks to be a very fun and customizable game, which to me means that I can finally have my Star Wars, what they call fan cave, and not have to have an additional room in my basement. Next up, I've mentioned this game a few times, but it's still coming to the Quest platform, and that is Sniper Elite VR. This game has 18 replayable missions, authentic World War II weapons, and yes, that same visceral X-ray kill cam. As a well-known series, it's great to see an entry into VR regardless. I'm looking forward to sneaking around, finding a vantage point, and using my World War II sniper rifle to take out the enemies. Next up, we've got something a lot of people have really been waiting for, and that's a brand new VR RPG, or whatever acronym you want to call it, a VR MMO, whatever it is Zenith The Last City. This game will have you fighting, crafting, and exploring in a massive multiplayer world with your friends and foes alike. You'll be able to join epic raids, there'll be world events, it'll be a full-scale massive multiplayer online game, and if you've ever played one of those and gotten sucked into the lore and the story, you'll know how awesome this is going to be. I'm not really sure how big exactly this world is going to be, but it looks to be a pretty well-scaled environment with a lot of unique places to visit, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle the MMO in VR. In fact, they're going to be doing pre-orders and allowing people to pre-order and get into the alpha very, very soon, so keep an eye open for Zenith VR. Next up is a game I've actually played, and I'm excited to play more of, and that is Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. This is the brand new horror game based in the World of Darkness universe by Fast Travel Games, and it's something I've been keeping an eye on for a while, as it's a story-based game, and if you know anything about me, one of my favorite types of games is story-based games, and even if it's horror, I will try my best to play through this because it's supposed to be a full campaign where you can explore the Barclay Mansion, which is not your traditional haunted mansion, it's a Hollywood Hills mansion, and you'll have to figure out what's going on and how you died and why. Now this next one, I'm going to show this clip just a couple of times and then we're going to jump over to some footage so you don't have to see the same thing over and over. This is an Untitled Ultrawings follow-up by the same developer, and after I reached out to them, they said they don't have anything to say except for it's coming out to all major VR platforms when I asked about the Quest, so that I assume means it is coming to the Quest platform, and it's going to have a healthy dose of combat. So this seems to be the Ultrawings follow-up that's a military shooter of some kind with combat involved. Sounds very interesting. I'm not sure if you've ever played Ultrawings or not. Visually, it's pretty simple, but the game itself is actually pretty fun to play, and it's one of the only flying experiences on the Quest platform. I think it's the only flying simulator, so it's a pretty simple but fun game. But it'll be interesting to see more information when we finally get it. These next two games I've been hesitant to put on this list because nobody's actually said it's coming to the Quest, but so many people are assuming that it is that I'm going to put it on the list anyways with a disclaimer. Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell are both making their way to virtual reality on the Oculus platform. We don't know if that means PC VR or if that means Quest and PC VR or whatever it means. My hope is it does mean the Quest. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite series, and I would love to see this game placed in the Assassin's Creed 2 time era. I just love the Ezio del Toro story, or even a unique one. In all honesty, I'd love to hold up my hand and grip the grip button and have the invisible blade pop out of my wrist. That just sounds really cool. That and Splinter Cell, if we could get multiplayer Splinter Cell with mercenaries versus spies or whatever they called it when they released it so long ago, that would be incredible. I used to play the crap out of that in multiplayer, and it was so much fun, and I'd love a story campaign in both of them as well. So is Ubisoft making VR games? Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell, they are definitely coming in some fashion. We don't know if it's to Quest or not, but fingers crossed, it is coming to Quest, and it's going to be awesome. Next up is another game I've actually played, and that is Flow Weaver, and that actually launches in 2 days, this week on the Quest platform. This is a puzzle, adventure, escape room type of game, and it's actually really well made. It kind of came out of nowhere. I love this type of game as well, and it's got an interesting story to it. It's got some fun puzzles to solve. Admittedly, I've only played a small portion at the beginning, but from what I've played, it is well done, and it's fun, and I'm curious to play more. Puzzle games are one of those things that I don't get tired of. I love things like Red Matter, The Room. So this is yet another one set in a unique environment that uses different dimensional rifts to transport you to other places where you change stuff and go back to the primary dimension and things have changed. It's a little hard to explain, but it's fun. So if this is the type of thing you like, it might be something to look forward to this week. Next up is a murder mystery investigative type of game called Invisible Hours. Now this game has been launched on other platforms. In fact, it's been launched on most other platforms. It's one game I've never played before and have always wanted to actually jump into, but never really got around to playing. And I've been told it's a very good game by a lot of other creators and even other people. So it's something I want to jump into. You'll be investigating murders as things happen around you in real time. So it sounds to me like you could play through this multiple times and see different things each time. In fact, I believe in this story, you're not interacting with the characters as much as you are watching what's going on and trying to solve the mystery. Sounds interesting to me, so I'm all for it. Next up, I have played this game actually as well, although I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that or not, but Swarm is a really interesting game. You'll be grappling and throwing yourself around a map as you fight against these futuristic flying robots amongst other different enemies. I might not be doing it justice by explaining how it works, but the mechanics work really well and you can really get flying around, throwing yourself through the air, grappling from point to point, and in midair turning on slow motion and blasting these things out of the air. It becomes like a competitive rush as you fly through these maps, trying to get the highest score possible and make your way to the top of the leaderboard. I don't know when the release date is. I do know, though, that a lot of people really enjoy it, and there is some gameplay out there on YouTube from people like Mateo, and I believe Steve knows, as they've been working with the developer to get some stuff out there, so go check out their channels if you want some more gameplay on it. Next up is another game by the developers that did Pixel Ripped, and that's called Yuki. This looks kind of like a bullet hell style game, sort of, where you're actually going to hold on to the character with your hand, almost as if you're playing with action figures, and you're going to fire at all the enemies. It seems unique. I'd like to try it out because I'm not really sure how the mechanics will work, how it'll function, but I do trust the developer as I really enjoyed the story and gameplay in Pixel Ripped 1995, and I still have yet to play Pixel Ripped 1989. Next on the list, I could not add this, or people would call me out on it. This is Project 4, or what I call the Untitled Boneworks universe game. This is going to be from the developers of Boneworks, and they have said it's going to take place in the Boneworks universe. That does not mean it's going to be a Boneworks game in the same style, but don't expect a full Boneworks port, as this game is supposed to be taking place in the same type of universe. Now, technically speaking, it doesn't even have to be like Boneworks. There are other games from the same developers that take place in the same universe. So it could be a racing game. It could be a puzzle game. It could be pretty much anything. We really know nothing about it. I'm hoping that it's more like Boneworks because it'd be awesome to have that type of game on the Quest platform, and since that's one of their most popular games, I'm really hoping they went that direction, but it's hard to tell, and only time will tell. Next up is the only platformer on this list that's coming to the Quest, which really makes me sad because I love VR platformers, and that's Ven VR Adventure. Ven is already out on PC VR, but it is coming to Quest sometime this year, according to the developer. If you've never tried a platformer in VR, you have no idea how much you are missing out on. You need to try it as soon as possible. I just wish more people would explore platformers in VR because it's one of the most amazing and fun experiences to be able to interact with your character in virtual reality, and it makes platformers come alive in a way that's not possible in a flat screen. Next on the list is another survival game, and I've talked about some of these games in this list before, including this one, and that is Green Hell. This is another adventure survival game. It's actually a port from a PC game, Green Hell, and this looks to me to be a more modern day take on survival games. Unlike the earlier Song in the Smoke, this seems to take place in our current time period. I've been talking with the developers on and off over the past little while, and there's a lot going on with this game. They're doing a lot to make it a VR game, not necessarily just a port, but they want to include all the mechanics, from having a full body so you can see your wounds to try to heal them. But regardless, this is another VR survival game that looks like it could be a lot of fun. There you go, there is my ultimate list of upcoming Quest games for the Quest platform. What did I miss? I know there are a few I left off. Let me know down in the comments if you know what they are, or if they are games that I didn't even know about. Let me know that too. If you want to get the most out of your Quest and your Quest 2, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down there and the bell icon for notifications. Plus, you can check out even more of my videos right there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy questing.